All right, I'm back with another dose of crypto airdrop alpha. There's a lot of stuff that's been happening and I see a few solid opportunities. So let's hop into one of the biggest updates for Mantle's Cook farming, which is that now you can actually use METH on Pendle to earn a pretty solid LP APY and to also get a 25x multiplier on points. Now there's pros and cons to using this strategy. One of the main pros is that you can do this as a single-sided LP, meaning you can just take METH, deposit it into the Pendle LP and earn a 25x multiplier on your points. All of the other single-sided DeFi integrations only give a 20x multiplier on points. Now, on top of that, Pendle itself is obviously a well-established and pretty trusted player in the DeFi space. So I think that the smart contract risk is lower in this platform than some others, like Mintrest, for example, which actually just got exploited a week or two ago. And then in terms of the LP yield, it's actually pretty solid. You won't get the full amount unless you're actually using Pendle and staking the Pendle token itself, but you can also get an LP APY for doing this. Now, in terms of the cons of this new Pendle strategy, the main thing honestly is that you can't actually access leverage like you can do on platforms that are money markets like Innate Capital or Lendo or yes, Mintrest, although given the exploit that they had, I don't necessarily recommend using that platform. And speaking of farming Cook, if you use Binance's Web3 wallet, you can actually get a boost and an opportunity to earn a separate share of a Cook allocation. So I made a full tutorial on how to use this wallet almost a year ago now. And if you are using that Web3 wallet, then this is potentially an opportunity to keep an eye on, although it will depend on how many people actually tried to do this, because since you're sharing in 2.5 million Cook, if not that many people try and get in, then it could actually be an outsized return. But if there's massive capital that apes into this, then obviously it won't be ideal. So that is Mantle. Now let's move to a couple of claims that are already open or will be open soon. So for starters, the Renzo protocol checker has come out for season 2. So you can go to this link right here, check to see if your wallet is eligible. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people have been finding that their wallets are not eligible, even if they have tens of thousands or sometimes hundreds of thousands of points for Renzo season 2. So this is my Renzo dashboard here. And unfortunately, even though I got 54,000 points and 10,000 eigenlayer points, it's suggesting that I'm not actually eligible. Now there is a dispute form, which I'll link down below. So hopefully there's still a chance for them to rectify this situation. And the token claim itself is going to be going live next week. Another claim that is live is Zirkit. Now this one, you can actually get the tokens right now, but they're non-liquid and non-transferable, kind of similar to Eigenlayer's tokens. So if you farmed Zirkit season 1, you can now actually claim your tokens, receive them in your wallet, but you won't actually be able to do anything with them. Next up, if you are staking Dimension tokens, there is another Dime staking airdrop live for Agasos. In order to claim this one or to check your allocation, you need to go into their Discord. So there's actually a process here where you need to go in their Discord, go to the Agasos roll drop channel, type /check, and then put in your wallet address to confirm your allocation. So if you're staking Dimension tokens, you should definitely go and do that. Also, one thing I want to say here is that if you're using multiple wallets or you're concerned about doxing your wallet address with your main Discord account, you can always just spin up other Discord accounts, throw away burner accounts in order to do this without actually having to link your multiple wallets together or to dox yourself with your Discord. Okay, next up, we've got Clip Finance and the Clip token. There's a claim live for this one. You may have actually qualified for this if you were doing some of the Linea LXP quests from a few months back, because using Clip Finance was one of the DeFi apps that you had to use in order to complete some of those quests. So if you did complete those and you remember using Clip Finance, it's worth checking to see whether or not you'll get anything. From what I can tell, it's going to be pretty much peanuts, but free money is free money. All right, next, let's move to some more alpha, things that you can do now to qualify for future opportunities. And this is an interesting one because Athena Labs just launched on Solana yesterday. So now you can actually use USDE as DeFi collateral on Solana. They've already integrated with a bunch of different platforms like Camino Finance. So let's walk through the opportunity. Now for starters, if you have USDE in the Ethereum ecosystem, you can actually use Stargate to bridge to Solana. So that is a new integration here. you'll be hitting potentially layer 0 future airdrops, and then you'll have your USDE on Solana, and then you can actually do stuff with it. For example, there's already an Athena market on Camino Finance where you can lend and borrow these different Athena Finance linked assets, and also the PayPal USD coin. So there's a few different ways that you can play this. You can earn a decent APY on this, and you can farm multiple airdrops at the same time, including Athena Season 2, then Layer 0 Season 2, and then Camino, and potentially other things as this token gets integrated into more Solana DeFi. Speaking of Camino Finance, the Season 2 airdrop distribution checker is live. You can check to see how many tokens you're getting, but since this one was completely linear, you're probably not going to be getting much. Honestly, the APY of using Camino is very, very low. I kind of knew this going in, and that's why I've said in several of my previous videos that I'm only using Camino Finance if it's sort of a secondary or tertiary farm where I have some other assets with nowhere else to put them, and I might as well park them somewhere to earn some sort of yield or points on that. But other than that, I'm really not using Camino anymore. Next up, let's talk about Solana since we're on the topic of the Solana ecosystem. So Binance Labs, which is Binance's VC arm, made an investment into Solana, which in my opinion is definitely bullish because the token will probably actually be trading now on a tier 1 exchange when it goes live, and having this kind of backing is solid for the actual value of the project. Then on top of that, there's new integrations coming out for Sol layers as Sol. So I have about 25 as Sol, and one of the new integrations is on Camino Finance, where you can provide liquidity into that Orca liquidity pool. The only thing, and I'm actually waiting or trying to get an answer on this, is whether or not you'll earn Solana points on the full value of the LP position or only on the S Sol position, because generally when you provide liquidity, then your assets are split into the two assets that you're providing liquidity for. And so you don't want to just be giving up half of your S Sol points, for example, in order to get some Camino points, which is definitely not a priority for me. Okay, next up, let's talk about Jumper. So if you go visit your Jumper profile now, you will see that you've got a bunch of new badges, including some loyalty badges. Here they are: Boost Season 1, Boost Season 2. So for this right here, this wallet, which is my demo wallet on the channel, I didn't really use it much in Season 1, but I started farming quite a bit in Season 2 on Jumper. And depending on how early you started using Jumper, you'll notice some pretty big boosts in terms of the XP, and your rank will probably have increased quite a bit. In terms of an actual Jumper token launch, remember, they posted something a little while back that left an opening, kind of hinted that there would be some rewards at some point, but no concrete announcements yet. In other news, Hyperlane confirmed today that they are dropping a token. The ticker symbol is going to be HYPE, which honestly is an amazing ticker symbol. And they dropped a blog post talking about it a little bit, but there's literally no information about tokenomics or about the airdrop. So at this point, what I would say is just keep bridging. It's now August. You have an opportunity to get another unique month of bridging transactions under your belt. You can check out my previous tutorial about how to farm Hyperlane, which is still more or less up to date. And remember, you want to hit the Merkley Hyperlane token bridges. You want to hit the Cosmos to EVM bridges as much as you can. And if you want to provide liquidity of things like TIA-N on the Arbitrum L2, then you can do that as a bonus task. Hyperlane is probably going to be one of the final bridge token airdrops that actually has an opportunity to yield a solid multiple on fees spent. So like with Layer 0 or Wormhole, for example, unless you got shafted by being declared a Sybil or something like that, you definitely got a decent ROI on the actual fees that you spent farming it, and I feel like Hyperlane is going to be like that as well. Now let's talk about KelpDAO and maybe roast KelpDAO a little bit right now, because honestly this is getting a bit ridiculous. So KelpDAO still has not dropped their token. They have not made any announcements about dropping their token. They haven't even actually been able to accurately update their dashboard and to track points. And now they've released this post talking about integrating airdrops from different protocols and providing airdrops to people that stake with Kelp, but not the actual Kelp token itself. And this is insane to me because already we've got EtherFi on Season 3 of their airdrop. We've got Renzo on Season 2. We had Zirkit. Now really KelpDAO is dragging their feet. At this point, I would say that I'm not super bullish on the prospects for Kelp. I'm still using this asset only in the Scroll ecosystem at this point to farm Scroll marks because it's got more DeFi integrations than some of the other tokens that I might use. But honestly, I might still even just pivot that over to other things. For example, on Scroll, now you can use EtherFi's wrapped ETH on mitosis, which potentially is a better option. Speaking of EtherFi, if you stake new ETH from now until September 4th, you earn a 0.1 ETH5 per day bonus for every ETH that you stake, which isn't a whole lot, but it just stacks on all the other yield opportunities that are available for EtherFi. And then they also increased the caps for their new symbiotic LRT, which is the eigenlayer competitor. So there's still some opportunities with EtherFi, even though they're in season 3 already. Moving on now, if you had vested tokens for Mode Season 1, those are now claimable, although unfortunately the price of Mode is absolutely in the gutter. The market cap of this whole project now is below $15 million. It's actually lower at this point than some of the actual DeFi apps that are deploying on L2. So I'm not sure what's gonna happen with Mode. Maybe they can turn it around. I still have a bag that unfortunately I should have GT'd but didn't at the beginning, and now I feel like I'm in it for the tech, but the tech isn't really doing much, so yeah. All right, next up, let's talk about ZORA. So they've launched an upgrade to their platform. Basically, when you mint and the mint ends, previously that was it. You could trade them on secondary marketplaces, but there wasn't much else to do. Now on the ZORA platform itself, there is a secondary market for actually buying and selling ZORA mints. And so along with this, they've posted a blog post and they actually launched a token. They're calling it the ZORA token, but there's been really unclear communications around this. I don't think that it's actually the official ZORA token, but rather an experiment. We'll see though. If they don't actually do an airdrop after all this time and this ends up being the actual launch with very, very little liquidity and basically no announcements anywhere, then that would be honestly insane to me. Since we're talking about Dimension tokens, if you are still staking Dime, there is a new vote live. It expires in 3 days. And remember, voting on these might have some sort of relevance in the future. So it can never hurt to actually remain active as an active staker and participant in governance. Next, if you received the ZK Sync ZK airdrop, there is a special badge on DBank that you can mint for claiming that. So it's free to claim. You might as well collect it if you got that airdrop. And then finally, there's 2 quests or campaigns on Interact, which may have some airdrop relevance moving forward. So this is the Superfluid Genesis NFT campaign. And if you complete all the tasks here and collect the Genesis NFT, that could help you potentially for a Superfluid airdrop. And then there is a Mint blockchain NFT as well. So that is it for today's airdrop alpha. Hopefully you found this useful as always, and I will continue to bring you updates as long as I see opportunities. Thanks for watching and have a great day.